Good evening, my fellow troglodytes, you Neanderthals, hairy knuckle dragon apes, cavemen, chicken littles, and boys crying wolf, everybody else in the red pill manosphere, and to all the good faithful family. Welcome to the Good Faith Podcast, where we maneuver around toxic debauchery, attempting to find harmony with our fellow man and dissect society's caustic degeneracy. If it's a pre-apocalyptic dystopia that you seek, then look no further, because right here it is. The great American empire is going to hell in a handbasket, and quickly, I might add. I'm your host, Ninjah Bullock. I understand you could have been a million other places, and the time is the most precious commodity any of us have. So from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to share my gratitude with you all. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Due to the sensitive nature of some of our topics, we hope you'll shield youngins from some of the vulgarity that may be spewed here. We got whoredom for your boredom, and we're going to talk about smut, so keep the kids at bay.
It's smut, Bill.
It must be noted that the views expressed by the panel are not necessarily the views of the Good Faith Podcast. We are no fiduciary. We assume no culpability of investment performance as a result of following our financial advice. Our simple aim is to entertain and inform. Anybody living in the greater Philadelphia area interested in making an appearance on the show can reach me in a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Christopher Bulick. See our Patreon link in the description if you'd like to make a campaign contribution to facilitate our meteoric rise.
I ain't trying to screw you. You ain't giving me no money. What am I getting out of this? Nothing. So why do I have to lie?
In all seriousness, times are tough. Any proceeds we receive will be going towards avoiding eviction, keeping the lights on, medicating Clark with all of his health concerns, feeding our gracious guests. Once again, if you feel you've been given value by us, it takes a little extra effort to like and subscribe. This is your notification that the Good Faith Podcast is now available not only on YouTube, but Twitch, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Patreon, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and RSS.com. We'll keep pushing out these episodes so long as our following stays growing. The path to notoriety will be for our listeners to spread the good word of the pod. If you have somebody in mind who would agree with our content, if they might be informed, if they want to ridicule us, send a link to your friends and family. All publicity is good publicity. Our objective is to have a balance between the red and the blue. So if you have somebody in mind who enjoys listening to podcasts, please spread our channel. And in perfect time for the holidays, maybe a little bit late, if you want to get a belated holiday gift for a loved one for Christmas or for the new year, why not gift them a membership to the Good Faith Podcast? If you want to give the gift that keeps on giving, consider a membership to the Good Faith Podcast, where your fearless and thankless leader, me, is working tirelessly to return you guys value through exclusive content, sound advice, unique custom emojis, listening and responding to all of your constructive and corrective feedback. Now, our fragrance of the week is Elizabeth James Nirvana Bourbon. And it's an intriguing scent for men. Nirvana Bourbon, launched in 2016. I think it's a discontinued scent. Features exquisite notes from bourbon, vanilla, oak, and tuberose. This is one of those colognes that you have to wear to appreciate. If you just smell it from the bottle, it smells like, like pencil shavings or old dusty books in a mahogany library. But once you put it on, the wonderful musky scent explodes onto your skin, and it does actually have a wooden barrel bourbon smell. It's very sensual, grown, and sexy. That's it. Now, the candle of the week is Sunkissed Citrus by Candle Essentials. I wanted something fresh because it's a fresh new year, so we're going to try and clear out all that bad energy, leave all of our mistakes and regrets back in 2025, and ring in the new year with something nice, light, and aromatic. The shirt of the week is my Grant Hill jersey by the Pistons. Hat of the week, Detroit Pistons. Cinema of the week, I've been on a Ink Master kick, so I've been watching Ink Master all week long, just like binging out seasons of this shit. I just watched Ink Master Battle of the Sexes. Guys, you know what I say. I say, look good, smell good, play good. And when you play good, they pay good. And you don't have to spend $1 million to look like $1 million. Now, at this time, I'm going to bring on my guests. Hello, guys. You are all live. So I guess we'll start with Martin and we'll work counterclockwise. Uh, could you tell me your name, age, occupation, and highest level of education completed? Nice. Are all those locations stateside? Oh, yeah. All right. And Andrew. I did that for a little bit too. I was a soccer and football referee, and it's like it's a great job. You stay active. You keep your limbs moving. You keep your joints limber, and there's nothing better than like watching some sports for a job and just doing that for fun. Oh my, yeah. Is that you're being sarcastic, right? Yeah. And Cody, can I have your name, age, occupation, highest level of education completed? One second. I had a chatter say that they cannot hear the guest. So, how about how about now? Who was that? Was that shit? Eric, can you guys give a test real quick and see if he can hear you now? Can you hear him now? Testing, testing. Eric, is that any better? I added an audio input capture for my Zoom window, so that's what I was missing. You guys will have to bear with me because this is my first time with this new setup. I just got a brand new Rodecaster, all these microphones and headphones. Oh, nope, he says. What the he says no, but I don't know. I'll have to we'll have to see if anybody else can hear. I can hear you fine. I'm just gonna assume that I could always just go with the just like first time with this new setup. I just got a brand new. No, I cannot hear you. Fuck. Fine. I'm just gonna assume that I could always just go with the just oh my god, I. You can hear me, yeah, but you can't hear anybody else. So what am I doing wrong? Um. Shit. Uh. Properties? What the fuck, bro? I'm so like inadequate. I'm not worthy of love. What the fuck? Yeah. Um. Chat. I will. I'll get it. Oh. All right. Wait a minute. I want to zoom in here. Okay. Now. Oh man. Properties. How about, what if I go with this or this? Hello, hello. Can you guys try talking now? Oh, it's so fucking annoying. I should have done like I should have, I guess, tested this before. This sucks. Zoom US. Are you guys able to? You guys can't hear Eric when he's chatting in, can you? Zoom audio device. Wait. Okay, so now I can't hear you, right? Okay, now I can't hear you. But what if I go like this and then make this that? Can you guys try again? Oh, fuck. Oh, wait. Okay. How about that, Eric? Can you hear that now? Wait. Wavelength stream. Hello, hello. We're still. Wait. Oh, can you hear that now, Eric? Let me know if you can hear that. I think you should be able to hear that now.
The live stream on, I have it pulled up on my YouTube.
It's like
your
frozen,
live stream,
right?
Yeah, it's frozen.
What the fuck? Should I just like
Add Eric Drumbold 5098 said, yes, have them test again.
Okay. All right, real quick. I'm going to stop this stream.
Add Eric Drumbold 5098 said, I have audio now.
Yeah, he's got audio, but he does, but our video froze. So I'm just going to
5098 said, video is frozen.
Yeah, video's frozen. The fuck? All this fucking bullshit with technology all the time. Oh, man.
It's a conspiracy.
Properties.
That's because usage works faster than technology.
Item 0. Okay, so properties. Why did the Zoom meeting go away? Zoom meeting.
Add Eric Drumbold 5098 said, do a podcast grinning face with squinting eyes. Okay, audio only saluting face.
Yo, Eric, can you see us once again and hear us now? I think you should be able to see us once again and hear us. It's so much easier just to do this shit in my bedroom. It's just more complicated to actually.
Add Eric Drumbold 5098. He
says we're good to go.
Yep, got it, bro.
Let's go. All right, good shit. Fucking.
My man.
Thank you for being there to fucking be our little like producer in the background. We would, who knows how long we would have gone without that. All right, so back to this, guys. Can I have your ethnicity and nationality and geographical location where you're based out of? Andrew, I'll start with you.
Sure. So I'm of Middle Eastern descent. Currently, I live in Detroit, Michigan, and sorry, what was the last
Your
one?
your nationality? Are you're born and raised in America, right?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in America. Correct. Yes, I'm American.
And Cody.
Born in America. I'm up in New Mexico in the Four Corners area.
Okay. And Martin, aren't you from New Mexico?
Yeah, Farmington was my stomping grounds. That was where I was born and raised. Thank God I got out of that town at 21 due to personal situations I was experiencing. But my family history is from Scotland, Germany, and then Europe back in the days. And I'm currently in Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City.
All right.
Eric Trumbold 5098 said, "The quality is fire now, guys.
Let's go.
Let's go."
Good
At
shit.
Kelty9R said, "Hi, Chris, Andrew, Martin, and the fourth gentleman."
The fourth gentleman is Cody, Mom. Just so you know. All right. So, guys, can you tell me your relationship status and the duration of your longest relationship? Andrew, I'll start with you again.
Yeah. So currently, I'm single. My relationship status, the longest relationship I've had, I would say, was about 3 years, and then called it off. But yeah, it's currently where I'm at.
All right. Cody.
So I'm divorced as of this last year, and I was married. Well, we were together 19, but together 26 years.
All right. And Martin.
Divorced back in 2009 and currently entertaining 3 different
At I don't know bro
possibilities right now.
said, "Nice to meet you
And
at Kelty9R."
technically I'm single. So I'm on the market and I'm searching and I'm keeping my options open.
All right. And can I have your spiritual leanings, starting with, I'll start with Martin and we'll go back the other way.
Spirituality. Let's go. I was raised Southern Baptist, your typical traditional Southern Baptist tradcon. I left the church. I did not leave the faith. But right now it's just me and my personal relationship with Jesus Christ, God, Trinity, the Spirit, and the teachings of the Bible.
All right. And Cody?
So I don't really say I'm religious, but because I believe in the Bible, I believe in Jesus Christ and God. So you can call it Christianity, whatever you want to call it. But I believe in one Creator and the one foundation that gets us to heaven, which is Jesus.
All right. Yeah. I identify with that same. I'd consider myself a non-denominational Christian, although I do attend a Baptist church, so I guess you could call me like a Baptist, but like I don't place stock in one denomination of Christianity any more than another.
Yep.
And Andrew?
So my mom's side of the family, for the most part, tends to lean more Catholic. My dad's side's Orthodox Christian. I'm Orthodox Christian myself. I do practice currently, and so pretty religious upbringing on my end. Pretty anti-Reformationist household, just because one side's Catholic, the other side's Orthodox. But I love everybody. I love all people. Doesn't matter.
Could I ask you a question, Andrew, on the
Absolutely.
Orthodox Christian? So there's Christian and there's Orthodox Christian. Is there a difference? What's that about?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So I guess the reason why I preface by saying Orthodox Christian is because I think when people think Orthodox, sometimes they might think, oh, Orthodox Jewish, right? Or something like that. But the Orthodox I'm referring to is like the Christianity that like Greeks, Russians, Armenians, they practice. So It's just it's a different. They broke away from there used to just be one faith, and then there was a big schism, the Great Schism, and it divided the Eastern Roman Empire from the Western Roman Empire. And the ones that practiced Catholicism went with the Western Roman Empire, and those that practiced Orthodoxy went to the Eastern Roman Empire.
So it's more of an Eastern European type philosophy then, or faith.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, it was through the ecumenical councils. I wouldn't say it's exclusively Eastern European because there were other elements. There were Syrians, Egyptians, even you can say Ethiopians as well that were involved in all these ecumenical councils. And so it was more than just that, but primarily the power base was in Constantinople. So you could say that, yeah, Eastern Europe had a lot of influence on that.
Wouldn't you say that the times when Jesus Christ
At
was
Doug
alive
Momo
and his
said,
word
"Hi."
spread that far out? It went that far.
Yes, because the ecumenical councils happened around 200 to 300 BC. The religion reached these places probably well before then. So when the schisms happened, I mean, Christianity was pretty well entrenched. It was just they had to agree on doctrine. So,
did you ever read the book of Enoch?
I did not know.
Check it out. It's pretty cool. It kind of mirrors what was going on in Genesis, but at a kind of a deeper level. From Enoch. Enoch was the what was he? The great grandson of he was a descendant of the original. Help me out.
Abraham or
no, Eve and
Adam.
Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve. He was a descendant of Adam and Eve, and I'm not too far. I don't know how many generations, but Enoch was a descendant of Adam and Eve.
Gotcha.
Well, we're all descendants of Adam and Eve.
Yeah, we all are. Yeah.
Do any of you guys watch Seinfeld? Or like, did you watch Seinfeld?
A little bit.
I did, yeah.
Wasn't there was
Not
one
much.
episode where George Costanza was converting to Eastern Greek Orthodoxy because he wanted to get with the one girl, and she was like devout in her faith, and he was like converting, and the one minister was like, what attracted you to Eastern Greek Orthodoxy? And he's like, I'd have to say the hats.
Yeah, I remember that
things we do to try and garner attention of a lady.
that was like on a very like pronounced level. That was George Costanza losing frame in a big way. You know, converting your religion for a woman. That's like the ultimate example of like not holding frame. Wouldn't you say?
Demasculation.
Yeah. So when I go out to the clubs or like when I'm presenting my brand on social media or on YouTube, I'm always trying to portray an archetype to the world, like a Tony Stark or a James Bond or a Bruce Wayne archetype. Do you guys have any like archetypes that you try and present yourself as?
I'll go first. I'm still stuck on this Tony Stark archetype. That's the way. I'm sticking with that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say I approach it more from like if you guys would see how I typically dress, more of like a 1920s type. That's just
At Garlic Bread said,
you rock
"Hi."
that pretty good, man.
I appreciate it.
I think
people always say Peaky Blinders. I'm like, for me, it was Boardwalk Empire that kind of inspired me.
Yeah.
Couple influences. So
Peaky Blinders.
At Eric Drumbold 5098 said, "Chris, did you get the new setup for your podcast with Mike Sarton? It's way better than what you had before. At some point soon. I love the podcast. Keep up the good work, boys."
Yes. Just like that. It's like a switch.
Like you remind me of like a noir detective, named like I don't know, Dickie McMacken or something like that. Like he's on the case and he's yeah, you see.
That's right.
Cody, do you like when you're embodying your most like masculine like archetype, what would you say you're going for?
I mean, I'm not trying to replicate anybody but myself, right? I mean, so just trying to be my best version and show up each and every day who God
At
created
Heaven
me to be. I
Monkey
don't
said, "Hi."
specifically try to dress a certain way or be a specific type. I mean, I don't think of it that way. I've never thought of it that way,
Mm-hmm.
like what you guys are describing. So I couldn't give you an example of what that looks like, but
All right. Well, if you guys could have any superpower, what superpower would you choose to have?
That's a good one. I mean, uh, I'll pass right now. Someone else can take. I'll think about this.
I know.
You know, after flying on Spirit for so long, I'd probably say flying.
Is Spirit
I'd
the
probably
worst?
say flying.
You'd say flying. I hate heights. Like if I had the power to fly, I'd like stay like 20 or 30 feet off the ground. I wouldn't want to go any higher than that.
Maybe
here's my thing.
I was going to say maybe my thing would be the ability to have the perspective of what other people around me are needing, wanting, or thriving for, to best communicate with them.
So mind
Not
reading?
mind reading. Not mind reading. Not mind reading. No, not mind reading.
Too far.
I don't want to read minds.
Yeah, none of us. It's more of like the sense of how to approach another person in a way that makes them comfortable and attracted to you.
Mm-hmm. Andrew, were you
So
going to say something?
Confidence. There.
Oh no, no, I like Martin's answer because that is a valuable skill to have because it is difficult to understand someone else's perspective. It really takes a lot of dedication towards listening to exactly what they're saying without trying to formulate a response, just truly trying to get into what they're trying to tell you. So yeah, I mean that would be a great superpower to have for sure.
I'd take impenetrability just so I could like not die. I'm sure there would be like some internal organal advantages too. Like I could drink all the time. My kidneys and my lungs would be just like top notch. Like my body would basically just be like a super body. Probably be able to live to like 150, 190 or something like that, and then I would just, anytime there was like a gunman in town square, I'd just show up and be the like bodyguard, take a bunch of bullets and stabbings and stuff like that, and I would just fight crime that way.
Would you have a kryptonite or would you just be completely there's nothing?
At Martin Pierce KC said, at Kelty9R, hey there.
My kryptonite would probably be I'm sure it would be some type of like vice, like maybe like lust of women or like I'd probably take it to extremes, like see how much I could drink or how much I could like smoke, because I would assume I would have like a very high tolerance to like drugs and alcohol, so I'd probably be like a Hitchcock. Have you guys ever seen that movie with Will Smith?
Yeah. You said you mentioned the ability to resist the lust for women.
Yeah.
That's a very, I think, a very good thing that we should have.
Do any of you guys have any of you guys engaged? And this is you could feel free to like plead the fifth on this one. Have any of you guys ever tried to embark on like the no fap trend?
Yeah, so I'm currently
At Martin
right now.
Pierce KC said,
it's
at Eric Drumbold 5098, thanks for the help.
You don't do any of that. You don't love for women. You don't show intent, and you stay away from debauchery of going out and paying for intimacy. I was going to say that it's a challenge. I'm all open to ears for any advice on how to further battle that.
Yeah, so am I. I'm like brand new at it. Like I've always kind of been like a creature of fallen victim to like lustful desires, but I'm making that my resolution this year. Like I'm only gonna do I'm only gonna do like acts that I feel bring me like closer to the divine.
I I have been noticing that this is one area I've been praying on hard. I mean, I've been fighting this for this past year. 2025, I was fighting this and I was praying, praying, praying. And, I'm going to fall every once in a while, but I believe it's helping. I mean, I really, the power, the divinity, when praying about something want to actually have, um, it's, it's helping me so far. I mean, I am definitely not like I was 2 years ago. I'll say that much.
I think we got to strive to be better as men. I mean, take women for an example. You can see like the toughest gangster there is, and yet a woman can make him fall, right? So, but I mean, think about that in a spiritual aspect, just like with Eve and Adam. Adam obviously listened to Eve, which created us to see sin, right? So now we live in this reality where women are enticing everywhere, especially now because you have social media and it's so easily accessible. So as men, how do we control that? And when you pray for something, of course, you're not just going to get it. That's why you never pray for patience because,
Yep.
you're just going to be tested, right?
Yep.
But it's
Yep.
the same thing. But we want to be tested, at least I believe, so we can become stronger and become closer to God
Yeah.
in that aspect because, without trials and tribulations, we don't actually learn about ourselves and discover those weaknesses that we have. So for me, praying that God will help me, uncover the hidden spots where I'm weak is what's really more powerful. And I can tell you, going through a divorce and being forced into silence really forces a human being to do that, whereas, my ex-wife, for instance, she didn't do that, right? She went and chose somebody else. So she chose the easy way out versus me, where I knew if I was going to experience this, I had to feel every emotion and every aspect of it because I could only heal that way.
Yeah.
I would say take action. Find ways to take action to get you out of that enticement. Maybe.
And it's one of my favorite shows. It's reminding me of there's a Seinfeld episode where George Costanza goes no fap, and all of a sudden once he stops worrying about having sex, he becomes this like superhuman. Like he's teaching the Yankees how to like bat, and he's like hitting home runs, and like all that stuff, and like he just becomes so much better of a man because he turns off that part of his brain that is just like constantly obsessing over lust. And I think that was another great episode.
But
Yeah,
yet
keeping busy
I
helps.
think, but yet I find that it's probably one of man's greatest weakness. I think
Yeah.
is it's crazy.
Yeah, like that, and we've talked about it on this show a lot of the time. Is like, it's kind of like it's kind of woman's role on Earth is to like test men. That's why God put Eve in Adam's life so that he could be tested by temptation, and he ultimately in that story he succumbed to the temptation. But I think that yeah, like I think a lot of the times us as men, our frame is tested by women, and they just want to see how much of ourselves we will sacrifice in the pursuit of obtaining them, instead of like a real strong man is never going to sacrifice himself for anything.
Yeah, kind of like the conversation we had before we went live about my current little situation with a certain woman. It's like she's trying to get me to fall into her control, I think is what it is. I definitely, we fall into their frame, and if we voluntarily go into their frame, in the end, long run, they're just gonna, be not want us.
Yeah. We lost Cody, so I'm just gonna send him another invite in his email just in case he wants to get back in. I know he does have an obligation, so it's possible that his obligation was calling to him.
Yeah, send him the invite. He just sent me a message.
Oh, okay. So, so we're joined here with a Detroit member. Andrew, have you ever seen 8 Mile?
I have, yes. I used to watch it all the time with my cousin when I was growing up.
Good movie.
Do you think that the way that Brittany Murphy deals with B Rabbit when he lacks status versus when he gains status is about on par the course for female nature?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing about female nature is that they're always going to think, can I do better? Can I do better? Can I do better? It's very difficult that they're contented with what they have. I mean, they have to know that they did better. You guys know this all the time, right? Like a woman will walk up to you and she'll ask, what are you thinking about? And then you'll just say, well, nothing. And she doesn't believe it, right? Like to her, that doesn't apply. So their minds are always going to wonder. And that's unfortunately one of the things that they wonder about is this the best I can do? So yeah, I mean, it is definitely accurate, I would say.
I would think that as a man, that is why we always have to produce. We always have to build. We always have to improve ourselves and maintain our focus in what we are trying to achieve. Don't focus on the woman. Focus on what you're trying to make better. Because once you quit focusing on what you're trying to make better, that is when she leaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like Nas said, you lose money chasing women. You'll never lose women chasing money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very true.
Very true.
So, Martin, there's not many movies that feature Kansas City, but one movie that I can think of is Casino. Have you ever seen it? Like I assume.
Oh hell yeah!
Is that real? Because is Casino like or is Kansas City like a really mob geared city?
Well, it has history back in the Roaring 20s, and a lot of mobsters. And there was a shootout at the Union Station, and there are still the bullet marks in the building. Huh. From that shootout from back in the day when they were transferring, I don't know what the name of the mobster was, but they were transferring the mobster from one penitentiary to another penitentiary going through Union Station, and there was an attempt to get him out from his people. But no, when I'm out and about, I don't get a sense of mobster or nefarious type stuff going on. I feel whenever I'm out in Kansas City at night, I feel safe. Mm-hmm. I don't feel threatened. I'm not really looking over my shoulder as much. But professional mobsters, they're not going to draw attention from the innocent public.
Yeah.
They're going to keep their shit underground.
Yeah, that's why I appreciate organized crime because it's organized. It's not it's not like the way that it is now, so disorganized, and that's why so many innocent civilians always get caught in as collateral damage because there's so much disorganized chaos going on. But back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, the mafia did a pretty good job, in my opinion, of organizing our whole country. And this is kind of like a good trifecta of geographical locations because Detroit, I think, is like, Detroit was like kind of ran a little bit by the mob too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very instrumental in terms of like, especially since it was during the Prohibition era, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, one of the main corridors to sneak in a Canadian club through Canada was through Detroit. So, you know, even to this day, one of the entry crossings from Canada to Michigan is the Port Huron Sarnia crossing. And like, unfortunately, there's still like a legacy of now it's not so much smuggling alcohol, but, you know, smuggling, human trafficking and things like that. So,
yeah, I did send an invite to Cody. I guess send another one to his I'll try another one to his Instagram as well. See if maybe if he's able to access that better.
What are y'all's thoughts on the mafia or organized crime taking control temporarily of our government to fix all our shit?
At I dunno bro said Ty Aderic Drumbold 5098.
I'm a fan of it. I think Kennedy was one of our best presidents, and Kennedy was a direct descendant of that like Prohibition era like mob. And yeah, like and even to this day, RFK, I think he's one of the most noble people involved in the higher up government assembly. Like his goal is to make America healthy again, and I really do admire that.
It's funny how RFK receives so much hate, and you know, there's all these type of organizations just trying to take him down. It's like, golly, I really think they just want us to be weak. They just want to weaken us so we can't fight and we can't think, and they can control us. Yeah, it's a debacle. 2026 should be the year of let's just work on yourself, find your thing.
Yeah, I definitely do think that I think the powers that be that produce, they need a consumer, and like a weak person is best for consumption. So I think if they lose us, if we're not fat, stupid, attention spanless dopes, then who are they gonna like peddle all their like shit Chinese products to? You know, we're the number one consumer. We consume all the drugs, we consume all the food, we consume all of the shitty knockoff purses and shit like that. So like the entire world depends on Americans being these like fat, stupid, Wally, like wheelchair bound fucks.
Wally's a good reference. Yeah. Like,
yeah, this country there was a time where we used to export more than we imported.
Yeah.
And then it changed. Yeah. People don't realize like Clinton, although like the GDP did increase under Clinton, like he sent a lot of our factory jobs and a lot of our manufacturing overseas, and we just never got it back.
There was in the early 90s, I remember this. I was probably like 16, 17 years old, and I was always paying attention to what's going on around me. And when Levi, the brand Levi jeans,
I'm wearing some Levi's right now.
Yeah, their business was shipped overseas to China. So all the manufacturing went to China. And when I saw it, it was in the paper, it was in the news. Levi leaving America, going to China. That's when I realized America was in the fall.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate too because Levi's, the way they brand themselves is like, oh, we're the all-American brand, like we're literally country America, rural America. Yeah. They send their manufacturing overseas.
They're the stadium that's hosting the Super Bowl this year is in Levi Stadium.
San Fran, right? Yeah.
San Fran, of all the cities, San Francisco is such a lovely city now.
You guys beat them twice though, Martin, so you can't be too mad at them.
I've never been there. Have you guys ever been to San Fran?
No, I haven't. I'm just going off of what I've been seeing in the news and social media.
Yeah, I haven't either, but from what I heard is that like back in the day, it used to be like one of the best cities in America. Now you hear all these stories. It's just, unfortunately, homeless people roaming around, people just, drugs rampant. People just can't afford it anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, if we're gonna dunk on California, there was two major gasoline manufacturers. Exxon left. Exxon is leaving California now, and I think there's another gasoline company that's leaving California. Like, they are not going to produce fuel for California's requirements. They're done. So it's gonna be entertaining to see what happens this next year for California.
So I see both you guys posting a lot of like New York, more Andrew's posting more New York, and both you guys are posting, I think, a lot of Vegas content. Do you find that Michigan and Missouri lack sufficient photogenics to like fill a grid with interesting content?
From a Missouri standpoint, I'll be honest, I don't get out enough. I've heard Branson is a good photogenic location. Kansas City, Missouri. There's some good spots for photogenic. And as far as the social life and when I go out and do my thing, the people here, they seem nice and cordial. I have been mugged a few times when I'm out doing my thing this past year, and I handled it pretty good. But when I'm getting mugged, it's like I think it's men who are challenging you because they don't want you to go into the same group. What's it called? It's mate. Help me out here.
Is it mate switching or mate choice copying?
No, not mate switching. Not mate switching.
Mate guarding.
Thank you. That's it. Mate guarding. It's like it's when you go out, and if any of you do man on the street, this will happen to you. You will get mogged because you're getting mate guarding. They want to mate guard you because they don't know who you are, and you're entroping into their social circle possibly. And it's a normal thing. I've experienced it. I was able to get through it and not fall into their frame. And then who would have known? You all know. Now I was a I was in the never mind, come back to me later.
Yeah, so for me, I do have some pictures in Detroit. I'll just say they're in the works. Is there, I think that for me, I think a lot of the pictures in Detroit are great, especially like Chris, as you know, like in some of these colder weather cities, a lot of the nice photogenic places tend to be more inside rather than outside, just because you don't get as much time outside. But I do have some outside pictures as well that I'm looking forward to posting. What I will say about Detroit though is, I had a friend that visited me on the 30th. It's not as busy as other cities, like Chicago will be busy on a Thursday night, Philadelphia, as like it gets busy, especially around, Broad Street. But Detroit tends to be a little bit more empty, I would say. I think it has a really negative reputation, but it's a nice city. If you go there, you can definitely get a lot of good content, a lot of nice pictures. You have the GM Renaissance Center. I mean, it's still Motown. There's still, vestiges of like what it used to be, and you can kind of pick up on it. Maybe it's a little bit more run down, but it's still there. You just got to look for it.
So, I wanted to ask you about this. Did you, and you've been living there for at least like, what, 10, 15 years, right?
About, I would say closer to 6-7 years.
Oh, okay. So you did not experience the housing crash in Detroit?
No, I actually experienced it in Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh was a bit different from Detroit because what Pittsburgh did was it was also a blue-collar city.
Yeah.
That was more into steel and coal rather than automotive. But Pittsburgh kind of invested into different avenues. They invested in tech. They invested into hospitals. I think the first ever transplant took place in Pittsburgh. They have some of the best doctors in the country and in the world. So they had stuff in place to be able to handle a blow like that. Detroit didn't. Detroit was purely, hey, this is an automotive city. We're not going to invest in other avenues. So they got hit even harder. But I think everyone did, to be honest. I hear a lot of stories about people just losing their jobs, and and these are people that are like well educated, that had experience, and just like that, it hit. I think it hit everyone differently, and
cause like one, I don't know why I'm just like fascinated by like metropolitan statistics and shit like this. There was in 2007 there was a mass exodus from Detroit. It had in 2006 Detroit had almost 1 million people living in it, about 900,000 people living in Detroit in 2006. By 2007, the population fell to only 640,000 people. So like they lost like 300,000 people just moved out of Detroit. It became like a shanty town in that year, and it seems like it's probably like rebounding a little bit, because it's a very blue collar town. It's like one of the most affordable parts of the entire country to live in. Like I think like Michigan as a state in general is just like it's a very cost efficient place to live, especially if you can find a way to work remotely, and you're not necessarily working at like a manufacturing plant and something like that. If you're working in tech as like a tech developer but living in Michigan, you could like really stretch your dollar there.
I think that when that happened with Detroit and with other cities, I think a lot of our major cities are re-baselining right now. Remote work, artificial intelligence, AI.
Mm-hmm.
You create your business doing AI. That is something that people need to start now. They have needed to start it like a year ago, using AI to build a business, build a brand, do a thing. I've already started, but I don't see an ROI for what I'm doing for another 3 or 4 years. But if it takes off, and if it does grab traction with what I'm doing, I will be able to basically, hopefully, leave America and live in whatever foreign country I want with the woman of my dreams. And like everyone from a laptop, just doing your thing. Manufacturing, people think, okay, so they're bringing back manufacturing. Trump's saying, oh, I'm bringing back manufacturing. What is the percentage of what he's bringing back and building is going to be under control of all artificial intelligence, robots, computers, AI? What is the percentage? You have an output of what something produces, okay? And if 90% of that is controlled by artificial intelligence and only 10%, what are you really bringing back? You got these people that can create websites. Their jobs are gone. Yeah. These people who are into doing like marketing, their jobs are gone. They told us what, you heard it. They said 10 years. You have 10 years to figure it out. No, it's not about 2.5 years. You got 2.5 years to figure it out. But
yeah, like one of my biggest holdings in my entire portfolio is Ford, a Detroit-based company, and I've seen footage of what their like manufacturing plant looks like these days, and you don't see a human being on the factory floor. It's just a bunch of robots building fucking cars, and they're doing it at light speed.
No, thank you for bringing that up. It's true. I used to work in automotive for an oil. They used to do gaskets basically. So, but you're right. I mean, like a lot of these are automated. If anything, if they are putting a human in, it's because they need to meet a certain quota, or because they're trying to employ some of these people that, this is what they've been doing their whole lives. They're trying to at least keep some of it, but mostly it's because they're trying to help people out. It's not necessarily because it's more cost effective.
I would say that as a man, you need to learn artificial intelligence because when those major companies need a person who understands artificial intelligence speak per se and knows how to use it properly, you're going to be the one that's going to get hired, and you're going to probably work remotely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about this too. Like, so obviously we know about the declining birth rates in like Japan and Western countries, and a lot of like, let's just call
Koreans,
America,
South
America
Korea
too. Like we're
South Korea, yeah. But do you guys think that like these countries, because they're technocratic, right? Do you guys think that these countries are going to be able to innovate past that and not necessarily need a whole bunch of people?
No, like no, I don't think so. I think the first world's gonna implode on itself because the first world is not replicating at a replacement rate. So like I think countries like South Korea, China, America, all the Scandinavian nations, the UK, like once I don't know what the magic number is. I think the magic number is 2.1. Every woman in a society needs to be having 2.1 children per woman.
Yep.
Once it gets below that rate, like extinction level events begin occurring. And luckily right now we have the third world. We have these like, fucking Indian and Somalian migrants
Africa,
that are just having huge families, but like
South Africa.
Yeah, like they're having huge families that is like making up for it, but like their huge families are not necessarily like skilled. They're not skilled citizens. Like they're kind of just
more service.
Yeah.
We are going into a rebaselining. I keep going to rebaselining, but I think we are going into a society that is rebaselining itself, kind of like starting over, and then whoever is smart enough or has the enough experience or has enough intelligence to contribute to whatever this new society is, they're going to be the ones that will be successful.
Yeah. So you guys, I like the music that you choose for your Instagram. Andrew, I noticed you had like some Billie Holiday. I'm a big Billie Holiday fan, and Martin, you rocking some DMX. He's my literal favorite artist of all time.
Hey man, I'm a '90s guy. I grew up at the old shit, the old school shit.
What is your guys like? What's your guys' guilty pleasure, and what's your guys' like favorite listen of an artist?
Favorite listen of an artist. Right now, it's between Boris Brejcha, which is trance and house music. His name's Boris Brejcha. I think he's Eastern European. Or it's been old school kind of country, but with a rock myth to it, or rock type of twist to it. So I can't really say a name per se, but I can say a style. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Martin. Like a lot of the music that I listened to was like late '90s, early 2000s. Like Lil Jon used to be big back in the day. I don't like to advertise it, but yeah, like Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls, like that music now you listen to, it's just like all this nostalgia just kind of washes through you. So, even that song Barbie Girl is just like, it's such a bad song, but it's just so much memories.
But I created a actual Pandora channel based on Shabuzi, or what is it? I'm looking it up. Yeah, Shabuzi. Check out Shabuzi and his stuff.
Okay, he's kind of like that, like new age, like country.
Oh, he totally ruffles some feathers because he's Shabuzi. He's a black guy. He's a good-looking dude, and he was doing country music. A young black guy who fits the typical build physically of like a rapper.
Yeah.
But he's doing country music, and he's doing feel good rock style country music. Oh man, he received so much hate.
Is
It's
he the guy?
crazy.
Is he the guy that's like, someone pour out a double shot of whiskey, me and Jack Daniels got a history?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that could be. Yeah, Shabuzi. I like him. I really like his stuff.
Do you like Bubba Sparks? Like, because Bubba really started that like country rap shit. Like when no one was doing it back in the like late 90s, nobody was like country rapping except like Bubba Sparks and like Killer Mike and like maybe a little bit of like that was like maybe a little Trick Daddy and stuff like that. But they even those guys were more like urban than Bubba.
And the thing that I like, I probably heard of what you just mentioned. I probably heard his music, but it just doesn't click. I hear the music, but I just don't know who it is. A lot of these singers, they're all independents.
Yeah,
we are seeing the rise of independent artists just taking over the industry, and all the major frame industries, they're on the decline right now. That's what I think I'm seeing.
You guys think Chief Keef kind of started that trend? Because I remember before Chief Keef, like you had to have some sort of label or something, but after that, it was like almost nearly like overnight. Like you saw
another guy from Martin's neck of the woods, Tech Nine. I think Tech Nine was one of the like first independent guys that really got big, and even still, he's definitely not on like Taylor Swift's level and shit like that, but he's been around for like 20 years, and most people, when you like play some Tech Nine, they'll be like, oh, this is Tech Nine.
I think I've heard of Tech Nine. I'm pretty sure I've heard of it, but I'm just, like I said, I hear the music, I like it, I just don't connect who the person is unless I visually see who, like, YouTube or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does that like style of rapping, like I call it like twisting. I think he calls it like chopping, but it's where like you rap like super fucking fast. Most people almost like can't even understand what you're saying because of how fast they rap.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
So, are any of you guys like clean and sober?
No, I currently drink.
Okay.
I do consume alcohol, and occasionally I will probably smoke some marijuana, but I haven't smoked marijuana in about 2 months, I think, because I just don't like the after effects the next day. Mm-hmm. And when I do it, it's usually after going out and doing man on the street, and I'll come back and I'll review all of my content, and I'm analyzing, where am I creepy? Are there any signs of the person I'm interviewing looks uncomfortable? How were the questions? How were the responses? What are the facial reactions of the interviewees? Again, do they look like they're being uncomfortable, or are they enjoying themselves in the interaction? And so I will review everything, and I'll be on marijuana. But then the next day, it's just like that. After next day, I just don't like it. It's just, you're tired, you're lazy, you just, yeah.
So first of all, I want to applaud you, Martin, for doing so many man on the street interviews, because like
thank you.
Awesome
yeah,
stuff,
like
yeah.
I think you've carved out a little bit of like a brand for yourself. Like, you're the guy that does a lot of man on the street interviews, and even if, like, it doesn't matter how good you are, it doesn't matter how bad you are, it doesn't matter how like the type of interactions that you have. I think just doing volume is like the key to this shit. Just having consistency and just having like a faith in your process.
Thank you.
And
thank you. It's work. You have to get into it, and you have to be professional about it. and you just have to go do it. Now, granted, it's cold here, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to be. I've been ever since I did the Halloween fashion show. Basically, season's been closed, and but then I did get those things at Union Station. I only got two, but the thing that helped out and what created it, what helped out is because I was doing so much man on the street and so many interviews, it caught wind on social media through Instagram, and that's how I get invited to be a co-host at the Halloween fashion show in Kansas City.
That's awesome.
It's like, what? I'm what? So I got that, and the next thing is probably going to be March of 2025 is the next fashion show. I should expect an invitation to do red carpet.
Andrew, do you have any interest in becoming like the man on the street guy in Detroit?
Yeah, I could give it a shot. Obviously it is cold out there now, but I do like the concept of it. It definitely makes you more sociable. It makes you think less in the interaction and just kind of embracing it and just kind of, get into it and just want to listen to other people talk about, whatever it is you're asking them about. But
it's an attraction trigger. I'm not kidding. It's a fucking attraction trigger.
Yeah, I was surprised too because I remember too, Martin, you said like now you're getting all these offers to host all these big events in Kansas City. And it just started with you just having your camera and setting it up and just interviewing people. You took something so simple, but you were disciplined, you analyzed, you did the work, and now it's paid off. So like I'm really happy for you. That's great.
Thanks. Well, let's hope 2025 now takes off. 2026 takes off. 2025 is learning and experiencing the failures. 2026 is going to be, I hope, takes off.
Yeah, like and so are there any men of action that you could think of that I could watch in addition to you? So I'm already aware of Chell I think Chell's like around Miami.
Yeah.
Chris Desrel, I can't ever pronounce his name. I think it's Desrelao. I think he's also in Miami, and then Mauricio, I think he also might be in Miami. It's obviously like because of the climate, Miami is such a favorable location to do these man on the street interviews. Are there any guys that you watch that are not in Miami?
Well, it's complicated. That's one channel to watch. He's not MOA.
Yeah.
Now, as for are there any MOA that are doing it at repeatedly going at a lot? I don't know, but Michael has told us he wants us to go out and just kill it. He wants us outside every nightclub this next year and just kill it. And to get prepared for that, so it's the complicated channel is one thing to watch. And then there's that one guy that's down in Miami. He's not MOA. He's that big black guy.
Desirable Truth.
Desirable Truth.
Yeah.
What I would do, I'm going to use artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, and I'm going to attach their material from YouTube into ChatGPT. You can do this. You put attachments in so ChatGPT has a reference, and you can say, please give me a list of questions for me to ask in 2026, which is relevant to what is going on socially. What's going on socially? I think this next year in 2026 is going to be, where have all the men gone? I think that's the biggest topic for 2026. Where are all the men? Now, regardless, I am trying to garner the attraction of women to come in to get into a conversation.
Yeah.
With men, it's easier. With women, it's a bit more challenging because remember they're still kind of guarded. The creepy guy. It's like you got to be. And with the battle of that being, I'm going to be over 50. I'm going to be 51 this summer. So you have to dress relevant to your age, nice, clean dressed, which helps out. And then maybe maybe find a specific social location that is very popular to the crowd that you're trying to garner, which our agent range is between the early 20s throughout the late 30s. So you want to find a social place. It's usually going to be a bar, or it's usually going to be a plaza, and you just set up on the corner, and you'd actually be surprised when women do see the camera and they see the ring light and they see you with the mic, and they will probably, be interested, and they're not going to feel creepy. I always try and approach like, hey, do you want to do this thing? This is what I'm talking about. Here's all the questions. You kind of let them know what they're getting into. And remember, we don't dunk on women. We don't dunk on women. And you just let them talk. You don't get into a debate. You don't get into what your opinions are of the thing you're asking about. You just let them talk. That's all it is. Let them talk.
So one thing you brought up was where have all the men gone? And I have a theory. I think I know where all the men have gone. It's not like they haven't disappeared. They're not under a rock. But majority of women, we all know that majority of women vote liberally. They vote.
Yep.
They act subjectively. They they follow their emotions. And there's this new concept, Andrew. Have you heard of this called woke fishing?
Woke fishing. No, but it sounds funny.
Oh man, yeah.
So
explain.
I'm sure you've seen like the TikToks of the girls, and they're like these liberal girls, and they're always like, where do I find a liberal boyfriend who I'm attracted to? And like they're all complaining that none of them are attracted to liberal men. And so it kind of puts men who have a weak frame in this predicament. Like they don't know how to be attractive and how to hold frame, as well as how to be inoffensive and how to believe in what they believe and be structured and principled and disciplined in their like political alignment. So
there was also a thing. There was a movement back a couple years ago about men who work out in gyms who lift weights are toxic.
But they're the ones that they're attracted to, right?
Oh, I could pull up my list. I have a list of every single major thing going back to 1995. The movements, all these movements. And now it's like women like, why am I not attracted to a man who's liberal? It's because like all the liberal men, you're not physically attracted to. The whole entire bullshit about when they say, well, to be attraction, you got to be kind, nice, courteous, polite, love your mom, love animals. No, those are comfort triggers. You know that. We all know these talking points. We have to lead with attraction. And how do we lead with attraction? Well, we have that list too that we can go back to. And it has nothing to do with working out and physically looking good. I mean, working out, physically looking good, get your foot in the door. But once you open your mouth, you can kill it.
Mm-hmm. So, so Andrew, what do you think is what do you think is I don't know what I want to ask. I want to ask you to like weigh in on this subject. What do you think is like a thing that separates conservative men from liberal men, and what kind of dynamics are playing a part here?
Yeah, so it's a very basic concept. I think all men, we have it, right? So if we're going out, right, and we're going to go do some work on something, the person that does the lion's share of the work, or the person that does the most work, deserves the most pay or the most incentive, the most give back, because then it gives them incentive to do more work. And that pushes society forward. Mm-hmm. Now, women tend to not have this concept. Women tend to they just see the finished product. So they're saying, well, we should all share it equally. Well, the problem with that is that the person that is working hard to build something up, maybe they don't want to share it equally. Maybe they want to allocate the resources differently, especially if they know that if they allocate the resources differently, they can get more production out of it. Then everyone benefits. That's a very baseline, this is that very basic and fundamental difference between conservatives and liberals. For us, it's whoever does the most deserves the most. And that's something that is just never going to, most men, all of us here tonight, but most men in general will never be okay with, we should share everything 50-50. It doesn't occur to us, because we know that if we have to go out there and we have to build something, or if we have to hunt something, or we have to do something, the person that does the most deserves the most. That's how you get people to do more and more.
Yeah. So, it's funny. Most American women are turned off by the thought of 50-50. It's repulsive to most women until it comes to divorce separation of property. Then a 50-50 split sounds like it makes the most sense.
Yeah, it's a very common. So there's a person named Homath. He kind of goes into it, right?
Yeah.
And it's very, very basic when he breaks it down. Obviously, you arrive at it in a complicated way, but basically what he's saying is you can't have people that consume in charge of the people that produce. Mm-hmm. If you do that, it flips over and you just don't have production anymore. And that's kind of what we're getting to. And that's why you saw the last shot at the last election is people just got sick and tired of their resources going to things. I mean, obviously, about the situations with the Somali fraud situation in Minnesota. People are sick of it. Martin knows all about it. I mean, I don't want to continue to provide and work for my money to go to something that I don't believe in.
Yeah.
It makes me want to work less.
Yeah, and there's this new concept where it's starting to pick up steam. A lot of people, and who knows how legitimate this is, they're saying it on social media. Who knows if it's true or not. A lot of people are saying that in 2026, they're going to abstain from paying their federal income taxes because of all the corruption that's going on with our tax dollars. The Pentagon has failed seven consecutive audits.
I agree. It's it's gone so far out of control, and we now see the emperor has no clothes.
Yeah.
People are seeing the emperor has no clothes. And what's going to happen when finally people accept that the emperor has no clothes? What are they going to do? They're going to check out. They're going to quit paying their credit card bills. They're going to quit paying their loan bills. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? I still got to pay my mortgage. I still got to pay my, utility bills to make sure I'm comfortable in this house. But when I quit paying for debt, yeah, it's what are they going to do?
Legitimate, that's a good point. I gotta pay Pico because if the lights go out, then it's shit's gonna turn bad. I gotta pay my landlord because if I stop paying, shit's gonna go bad. If I don't pay I'm trying to think of a nerdy. If I don't pay Aaron McCucken from fucking Cincinnati, Ohio, who works with the IRS, what's he gonna do? If Aaron McCucken shows up at my door and he's like, "You owe your federal income tax. It's time to pay." I'll fucking paint the wall red with him.
Not to change the subject, but 50-50, because this was something that was brought up earlier, was the 50-50 concept. When you get into conversations with couples and they say, oh, the marriage is 50-50, half and half, we both have our half. What are your all's concept on that? Because now people want to say that they're the same level, but we all know in social dynamics, one is always going to chase and go up and please the other.
That's a good question.
It's just what it is. And then when they say, oh, it's 50-50, how do you explain that?
Yeah, Andrew, what are your thoughts on 50-50 relationships?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can see it doesn't work, right? So, and it goes back to, how we're wired and what we think. Women, they get pregnant, they might not be able to produce as much as a guy can. So what's attracted to her? Well, safety and comfort. How do you get safety and comfort? Well, you take care of the bills.
Yeah. You got a man's got to take control and be the protector of the situation. And as soon as a man can't do that, boom, she finds him not attractive. And they, sadly, you do realize that a majority of our society would call this misandrous talk, this being a misogynist.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
And we were talking about the like the loneliness epidemic and the what's that?
Where the men gone? Loneliness epidemic. Yeah.
And like it's that is like maybe the most troubling and unsustainable thing that is pushing our society, because what's happening is women are going to college and graduating college more than men. And I don't think it takes an expert economist. I don't think it takes a Harvard scholar to figure out that most of these college degrees that women are receiving are obsolete. They're getting communication and literature and gender studies and these stupid degrees. I
think the ratio has been 65 to 35%. 65% are women and 35% are women colleges and institutions.
And that number is that gap is probably going to continue growing, because and this is all just leading to this like population decline, because men are overwhelmingly getting a trade, like a trade certification right out of high school. So they're getting like a reliable income source, something that artificial intelligence is never going to replace. They're just becoming qualified and skilled to do a job that will last forever. Like they're even in the year 3026, we're still going to need plumbers, we're still going to need electricians, we're still going to need carpenters, we're still going to need all of these trades.
But what if they build robots with the artificial intelligence to do those jobs too?
I don't think it will happen. Like maybe it'll happen, but I think men are so adaptable that if that happens, then men are going to get into robotics, into electrical engineering, and the men are going to produce and program those robots to do those jobs.
Get into artificial intelligence and learning how to work it and use it to where you are the one that's getting hired, because you are the one programming the robots to do whatever they have to do.
Yeah, but and then on the flip side of this like divide that's happening, and it's intended, like college is intended to train us to become higher earners, but what it's actually doing is it's setting us up to fail. It's the biggest scam that we have in our fucking nation. So what's actually happening is these women are going to college, they're just binge drinking, getting fucked by Chad at Alpha Kappa Phi or whatever. They're just like increasing their notch count like threefold and shit like that. And
didn't I hear something about fraternities? Isn't there a decline in fraternities at the major universities? Like they're taking them down because it's toxic masculinity.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe.
Me. Like,
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. Yeah,
I've never I've never been to like a frat party, so I don't know if it's like all that is advertised. But what I imagine is it actually is like a legitimately toxically masculine environment. Like I rarely ever hear people that are like, "Oh, thank God I joined like Kappa Kappa Psi or something. It was the best experience of my life and shit like that, you know.
All sororities were memberships for women to basically they know where the best things are at, and fraternities are created to create the best parties. So the sororities go to the fraternities, and yeah, that's just how it is. You know, it's just a party.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like yeah, like I just don't think I don't think most men as a default, I don't think most women are actually interested in most men. Like if you negate all external factors like money and job and status and all that stuff, if you just take a naked man and a naked woman, I don't think that most women are attracted to most men. And then
I agree.
And then if you add all those external factors like debt and an attitude and all this shit, I don't think most modern men should be interested in what most women have to offer. Most women are just flat out say it. I bring me to the table. Like, I'm sorry, sister, me is not enough.
Well, let me bring up an example. Let's bring up two women, okay? Two women, two examples. And I have a perfect example I could actually provide IVE, irrefutable visual evidence of each. One does photos of her in the beach, on in lascivious ways, and always looking like she's she's a 10. She's stunningly beautiful. Then there's this other woman who provides photos of her baking several different things and cooking and organizing and clean and doing the thing, And here's the thing: the one who shows herself as a sexy bikini model, she's gonna have a certain type of attitude, and the one who's constantly showing her creating things, but yet she's also stunningly beautiful.
So, do you know who Evan Haley is?
No.
So she does exactly what you're talking about. Like every one of her videos is just like help me make a sandwich until I meet a boyfriend. She's got 265 sandwich videos on her Instagram. She's got 509,000 followers, and she's got these big voluptuous jugs that she's always in like a tank top, just like showing off her big jugs, and like she really knows how to like play up, like every time she's like cutting the bread, like her like tits are bouncing around, and it's so funny.
Even if that I would call foul, I'd be like, yeah, come on, I know what you do.
She's a little bit more on the lascivious side, but I like how the internet and social media has given people an avenue to just do something. You don't even have to do anything like extra special. Like if it could be making sandwiches or showing like hermit crabs or being the person that like talks about finance or doing man on the street interviews. Like if you just commit yourself to anything consistently, you can grow your brand that way.
Yeah, and I think it's more back to what you said. Women are like, when you ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? And she replies with, I am the table. Yeah, okay, good luck with that. I'll move on. Friend zone, cool, bro.
Yeah, I don't think that they're fully aware yet that one of the consequences of feminism and sexual liberation is that they brought back polygamy. Because they're all saying, well, I don't like most men. Okay, it's fine. I only like a certain type of man. And those certain type of men, other women want.
Mm-hmm.
So That's how they brought back polygamy. And they don't like polygamy, right? It's an unintended consequence, but it's one that they have to live with now.
Yeah, ironically, all those guys that they're chasing the top tiers, they're not committing. Yeah. Why? If I have access to the entire trough of any type of dish that I want on any day, but why would I commit to one of the things? I just come back every day and I get something different every day. I'm not going to commit.
Yeah, there's no incentive.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
like and I know this one struck a chord because I posted this. My ex-girlfriend hops in my fucking DM like, stop saying that shit. But I said, I said,
I want to control you. I want to control you.
a society that tells broke men they don't deserve to date cannot tell rich men that they must stay monogamous.
Exactly.
It's true.
Yeah.
True.
So and speaking more on this, like on the grand delusion of women, do you guys think that this man versus bear argument exposes like how delusional women are?
I think it's kind of an old concept that's already been beaten down hard. But what is it? I think some women are coming back and realizing what they did. I think the pendulum might swing back in 2026 as far as how women treat men, at least in the public space.
I hope you're right about that.
I hope. I mean, I would love to be able to be on the street approaching women, and if she's polite and kind and says, "No, thank you, I'm not interested," cool. I mean, hey, respect. I'm not going to pressure. But then if you try and approach and she's like, "Get away from me, creep! Go! Don't talk to me!" It's like, okay. And 9 times out of 10, I tell you what, every single experience I had with that, they're not attractive and they're fat and they're overweight and they just don't look good.
Yeah, it seemed like it was more of like a shock jock question that women look. It's weird, you know, like when women said that and they're like, yeah, we'd rather choose the bear. We did something that they didn't expect. We actually listened to what they're saying. Like, you'd rather choose the bear. And then all of a sudden they're saying, well, where are all the men at? Well, you said you'd rather choose a wild animal over us.
And
what do you want?
I've noticed one question that I ask a lot of women, and I want to add on to this at the end. But one question that I ask a lot of women is just flat up, yes or no, are you a feminist? And I found overwhelmingly most women are afraid to say, yes, I'm a feminist. And I think that speaks to your movement. If you ever create a movement that most women, or if you ever create a movement that most people are afraid to identify with, you created something that's an abomination of what it was supposed to be, because like that, it's like probably the same as like Nazis or Klansmen and shit like that. Like, if you don't want to be branded with the movement, you've created a bastardized amalgamation of it.
So you think the 2 biggest questions for 2026 for men on the street would be, are you a feminist? Okay, that's one question. Just let them go.
Yeah.
And then the next question would be, where do you think all the men went? Or I would probably fall back on, are there men out here who you are attracted to? She's probably going to say no. Then you say, okay, then where do you think all the men went? Okay. And she's going to probably be under. And then you could also fall back to, why do you think there are no men out here? And I have a list on my phone. I will put it up to the camera. I call it psychology notes. And these are all the base things, concepts of everything that's been going on. I can share this. I can probably put this on a public server. You know where that will be. And I think those are probably the 2, maybe 3 biggest questions for 2026. Let's get out there and let's freaking be toxic on a passivity side without them realizing we're being toxic.
So I wanted, in my second part of that question, I wanted to ask you, because this is my biggest issue is I go into these man in the street interviews. I don't really have like a script that I'm following. When I do this podcast, I got my computer screen right here. I'm like following a script. That's why it's a lot more cohesive of a show. But are there any like questions that you just fall back to when you run out of shit to talk about?
I always go based on their answers. So I will always go out with this is the topic I'm going to go on to tonight. Okay, and then just go with the flow of the conversation, and every time she's going to respond, you're going to be able to pick the something up in her response that you can question that.
Yeah.
So what you do is you're going down into the rabbit hole. Another thing, a concept of this is called present awareness. Get into the moment with her.
Yeah.
It's all about her. It's not about you. It's about her. And then I think that some of my best interviews was when I get into what's called flow state with the woman. And remember, we always ask questions about her. And you can also bring about, if you can try to remember the concept of four. Family, recreation, occupation, dreams, Ford. And that's a good fallback too. But
Ford.
I think when you go out, just have two questions that are really viral with what's going on currently socially, and just go off of that. And you're going to get into flow state. And another thing is, if she's attracted to you, if she finds you attractive, just remember, you're the guy with the mic, you're the guy with the ring light, the tripod. You're the guy that's doing the thing, which is an attraction trigger. And if she's attracted to you, you're going to get into flow state pretty easy. Don't plan the direction of the conversation. You only have planned the initiation of the conversation, but after that, it's on. It's on.
And you said D was for drinks? Is that what you said?
No, Ford, dreams.
Dreams. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams.
Okay. All right, I just wrote that down. I've heard it before. I just I've never applied it yet. And
I found that out when I went to immersion. They brought that up to it. Yeah, immersion. People who watch this don't know what immersion is.
So, Andrew, I know you're a carpenter. You share the same occupation. Speaking of that word, share the same occupation with Christ. What is one of Christ's words that you live by or hang on to?
Yeah, my favorite Bible verse is Psalm 118:8. It's better to trust in man than to put faith in. It's better to trust in God than to put faith in man. You know,
That's good.
I think a lot of times what we do is we're looking for an answer from a person rather than from our Creator. That never, it's always good to get help, right? Like, I respect you guys. If you guys told me something, I would take heed of it and listen, right? But I think it's also important too that, when we lay our head at night and we worship and we pray, that it's going to the Most High, and to the person who we know always knows what's best for us.
Martin, do you have any scripture that you have memorized?
Goodness gracious. I was never good at memory.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
remember I remember the stories, but I just don't remember the verses. Do not, I don't know the verbatims, like it's the concept of do not judge others unless you be judged.
Yeah.
I just don't judge people. You have no idea what they're going through. Perspective, just try and have perspective of their situation. Don't judge. And even if they do wrong, you don't punish the puppy for shitting on the floor.
That's
you don't do that.
That's my
you just okay.
That's my resolution of 2026 is I'm done trying to hold these hoes accountable, and I'm done trying to hold anybody accountable. Like the only person that I need to hold accountable is myself. And yeah, because like if I have built my life up to be this stone temple that I want it to be, then nothing can break that. But if my life is so fragile that like a puppy shitting on the rug or something like ruins my day, ruins my life, then what does that say about the life that I've created for myself? Like it says that it's very fragile, and like a little tiny thing can break it, you know?
I used to be at this concept of you just cannot control what other people do. And then I fell into the trap of taking on kind of like a responsibility for what other people fuck up. And then it's like I have to get out of that. And now it's like I no longer care.
Yeah.
I will do my best to control what I can control. And if they still fuck it up, oh well. Oh well.
So, speaking of inspirations, are there any? And I'll ask Andrew first. Are there 3 human inspirations to you in your personal life? Like a celebrity or a like a more famous figure, and then a historic person who's no longer with us anymore.
Yeah, that's a great question. My dad, I know it's kind of a corny answer, but I respect where he came from. I respect, the work that he put in, and the level of care he put into. Like he was a pretty strict dad growing up, but now I understand why. Like he needed to be strict with me because he saw the way that the world was going, right? In terms of current heroes, yeah, I would say, well, historical. I've always had a great amount of respect for Alexander the Great. He was just he didn't want to be told no. Like that never occurred to him that he couldn't. He just casually took down the greatest empire known to man at the time, like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And then kept pushing.
And wasn't he like kind of a child almost? Like he was like a very young man when that happened, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in his teens when when he crossed over from Europe to Asia and literally declared war on, like the Persians used to terrorize the Greeks, and then he just took an army and just went and conquered them.
Yeah.
In the span of however many years. So, I mean, that to me is inspirational because he kind of realized like, look, what do I have to lose? Like he was more concerned with when he couldn't stop rather than when he was going to start. Mm-hmm. So that's always something I keep in mind. Like if a young kid can, like you said, if a young kid can like lead an army and take down the greatest empire that was known at the time, what's stopping us from just trying to better ourselves and trying to improve our lives,
Yeah. And then do you have a current infamous inspiration?
That's a good question. This is pretty controversial. I do find Mussolini kind of fascinating.
Okay.
Do you mean like present day or like?
Yeah. Like I mean more on the side of like, you could call him an influencer, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an influencer. It could just be like I don't know, like a Jim Carrey or a Mark Wahlberg or Dave Navarro or anything like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like I love comedy, so Will Ferrell for me.
Okay.
The movies he does, he's just committed to the bit. That's what I love about him. Because like people that actually know him say that he's pretty quiet, he's pretty reserved. He's not like but when he puts on the persona and he loves to be funny. Like you could tell that because I used to be like the funny kid in class, right? There is a certain feeling you get like that you enjoy making people laugh, and you can tell that he has that.
Yeah.
And even at his older age, like that's great to me.
I love the movie The Other Guys. I think his character in The Other Guys is just so flawless and funny every time.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites of all time too.
The way that he talks to like Eva Mendes, like, and there's like Eva Mendes is obviously like so unbelievably gorgeous, and he talks down to her the whole movie. It's so funny because he's an ex pimp that he repressed that memory almost of himself, but like he deep down he's still a pimp. He's just like a recovered pimp.
Right. And by the way, a desk pop is not a real thing, so never fire firearms.
Martin, do you have a like a personal inspiration, a famous inspiration, and a historical inspiration to you?
Yeah, I'm glad you went with him first because it gave me time to think. Historical, I'm going to go with Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, okay.
He was the embodiment of what leadership is, and led by example. The concept of we take on the leadership, or we accept the responsibility of what we have to do. There's a couple of books on that. But yeah, Marcus Aurelius. And now, as far as a famous person, I'm going to say Denzel Washington. He honors the troops. He's all about the soldiers. His movies are freaking
amazing,
phenomenal. Even when he's like being the actor in Training Day. In Training Day, he's the demon motherfucker. But yet, his movies, it's just, he embodies the true masculine, what it means to be a man, type thing. Andrew said Mark Wahlberg was I like Mark Wahlberg too. And now, as far as current, as far as the embodiment of what we need to do as men now, I'm going to say Elon Musk.
Okay.
On what he's doing. And it's like, hey, guys, get out there and build something, do something. Besides, that's an attraction trigger, between you're building something or doing something.
So, what do you think about these two questions? I think these are good questions to ask in a Man on the Street interview. So, ask a woman, would you rather date a man who lives with his mother or who lives with his wife? Do you think that's a good question?
That would be awesome, yo. That would be a good one, man. You have a choice. Pick one. And you can also add to that. Say there's two men.
Yeah.
And you have to make a decision between these two men, and they check all of your boxes. Yep. Okay, all of your boxes that you demand. One's married and one lives with his mother.
And I think most women have so much so much delusion, or you could call it like so much overconfidence in themselves. They all think, oh, I would just try and get the man to leave his mother or try and get the man to leave his wife. That's what they all think. But like, then you really got to hammer like, no. Like, his wife is the perfect wife. His mom is the perfect mom. They both cook for him, clean for him. Like, he's got it made. Like, you got to choose which one do you want to settle into the supplementary role of this man's life, because he's not leaving his mother. He's not leaving his wife.
And I would say if she responds with, I will go with the man who lives with mother, that just tells you her character. And if she goes the other direction, that I would go with the man who's married, but still can have on the weekends or side, or, girls' night out type deal, then again, that just shows you her character. Mm-hmm. And it's good data.
Yeah. And then my other question is, would you rather be the king's mistress or the peasant's wife? Which is kind of like a very similar. It's a similar dynamic to the question, but I guess it's a little different. Like I think being the peasant's wife is it's noble, you know, like they're like the peasant needs to have a wife too, right?
That goes to the concept. And are you okay to be with the working man who makes 60K a year, or do you want to go be with the man who's a multimillionaire, but in reality, he has the ability to go get all these other women? You know, he has options.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting about down to, we got about 10 minutes left. So I will ask this last question. This one's like a long one, so I'll ask it to Andrew first because I think he prepared. I didn't prepare you for this, Martin. So I call this question 3 truths. So you are, let's say you live to a very old age, whatever age you want to pass away at. It could be 90, 100, 110. You live a very full and fulfilling life. Every professional endeavor, every relational endeavor, every financial milestone you hit. So like you live the perfect life. And you have a full family, and when you're getting ready to pass away, you are surrounded by your full family and they all love you and you feel no pain and no suffering, but everything that you do disappears the second that you die. So like every Instagram picture you ever took, every Reddit post, every Facebook message, every photograph that's in like a photo album, every essay that you ever wrote in high school, every piece of evidence that you ever existed goes in the grave with you, except you're able to choose 3 truths that you want to leave behind for the world to remember you by. What are your 3 truths, Andrew?
Great question. One that I learned the hard way, but it's just always true, is don't believe what people tell you, believe what they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. It's so easy to say the right thing. It's so easy to try to convince people that you're a certain type of, but if it's not congruent with their actions, what's the truth there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, people do what they believe in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing. Second thing is don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, plans change, things, things are unforeseen. Like you can tell, like just, I mean, I know that you're an Eagles fan, right? Like from year to year, especially with the Eagles, because they always try to reload. Like there's no way that you could have predicted or planned for the stuff that happened even just however many months ago. It's impossible. So you just have to be able to adapt more than being rigid. I think it's more important to understand that change is the order of the day. It's not, going to be just a straight line that nothing, ever deviates. So that's probably the second. And the third is stop thinking so much, just relax. It's not really, I think one thing that I've learned is if you look back at something, you think at the moment it's the end of the world, and then you realize that absolutely nothing happened and it was all in your head.
Yeah.
So just take it easy. Life is hard enough as it is. Don't make it harder on yourself. Enjoy it.
Yeah, like in the grand scheme of all this shit, we're just like a little tiny piece of cosmic dust that like is gonna be gone in a millisecond, and
nanosecond. Yeah.
Even these 3 truths that you're endowing to the future generations, even those will, with enough time, will be gone. Like eventually this whole planet is going to be swallowed up into hellfire or a supernova or who knows what, an ice age. And like even mankind, which has been around for millions of years, will eventually cease to exist. And you got to just kind of say the serenity prayer, you know, like you can't change that. Have acceptance and you know, yeah, like just ask God for the strength to change the things that you do have control over.
Yeah, it's true. The less, in fact, the less you fight something, the less you worry about something, the more control over it you have.
Yeah. Good. All right, Martin, did you think of any?
Yeah, I wrote them down. Life on Earth is a game. So if you choose a wife, choose carefully.
It's and
She,
like Warren Buffett and Kevin O'Leary, like all the richest people on earth have said that like who you choose to be your spouse is the most important financial decision that you will make in your entire life. Like, yeah.
She's going to be your CEO.
Yeah.
She's going to be the CEO of your company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the president. She's the CEO. Yep. Just like what Andrew said about actions versus words, I'm going to add to that. I mean, he said it. I'm going to say it too. Actions versus words of what others around you behave. They keep telling you what they want you to think, or they keep telling you on how you need to do, or they keep telling you what they're going to do for you. But do they do it, or do they exemplify it, or do they show it by action? And you know, I don't want to give advice to people where I'm having difficulties in my life on that type of action.
Mm-hmm.
You know, until I can master it, and then I can tell others how to master whatever action they need to do. Helping others will build your network. I wish I understood this years ago, and I never understood it until late 2024, mid 2025, especially now, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just by offering to help others. I did the fashion show. Did I ask for money? No. I offered value.
Yeah.
And that is what will help you build your network. You got to volunteer, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, like we all know a few of those guys in MOA that are just like no matter what they say, you can just watch them and you know that their ultimate end goal is to serve themselves, and they're just not they're not like the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with.
When I did immersion, and I know this could go publicly, there were a few people that I can tell they were there for their own selfish reasons. And if you ever do an immersion, if your group collectively comes together and works and helps each other and tries to figure out who can provide what and who can help and what, who's lacking here, help them to build them up for immersion. Who can provide this? Okay, cool. Well, if you can provide this thing, what are you lacking that you need help with? And if you can, men have to help each other. And I have been noticing it's been prevalent for the past 2.5 years. Men are just no longer helping men. It's like it's I'm venting kind of type thing, but it's just something I'm seeing. And it's sad, but it's okay. It's okay. You just go out and you create your network and you find other groups. That's all it is.
Yeah, like I'm kind of torn because you know, I know self-reliance is important. Nobody wants like a person who's dependent on everybody else for their own survival. But at the end, like as a person of faith, like I believe that God is in charge of everything, and I do believe that like a community of people is very important to lean on because no one person has all the answers. So like I think it's very important to have like a community of people who are interested in being helpful and serving others, you know?
Yeah, and based on that concept, what's going to be more attractive to several females? One alpha male who knows what to do is, or a group of tight-knit alpha males who actually can kill it? Who are the females going to gravitate towards?
They're going to gravitate
the one by himself or the group?
Yeah, the guy that's like socially calibrated, who knows how to work with a team. And yeah, like my boy Kevin Samuels always used to said, like, he was saying this back in like 2020, you know, he was saying like that lone wolf shit is like bullshit, you know, like there's no such thing as a lone wolf, you know, like
like the biggest thing when men say, "Oh, I'm a Sigma male," it's like, shut the fuck up. There is no such thing as Sigma male. Okay, go be alone. Fine, go away.
Yeah. All right. So, do you guys have any closing remarks before we shut it down?
Well,
build a network.
That's a good one. Just wanted to thank you for having us on, Martin. It was a pleasure. But yeah, this was a ton of fun, man. Like, I do enjoy your podcast, and like, I like that you try to get people within the network involved. So, you know, the fact that you found something like this and you gave us all a voice to be able to talk about what we want to talk about, that's great. So thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you for giving me the opportunity to put myself on the social
@Main28 said, Denzel is the man.
You're doing something awesome. Don't stop. Keep doing it and get out there and kill moths. You're gonna do fine. You're gonna get killed a few nights. You're going to get destroyed on a couple of nights. Don't worry about it. Just go do it, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being I'm looking forward to slowly becoming like a local celebrity. Like I want people to recognize me in my city and be like, "Oh, you're the guy with the microphone that asks interview questions and shit like that." Like
exactly.
I'll be it eventually. Well, all right. I want to thank you guys. Thank you so much, Andrew, Martin. You guys were great. My thanks to Cody. I'm getting that name.
Cody Waldrop.
Yeah. My thanks to Cody. He was great for the short time that he was here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, Cody. Thank you guys so much. And at that, I'm going to go into the outro. So, guys, we are going to wrap it up.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Yeah. Our next episode is I think the next episode has the potential to be a really awesome episode. I'm having Michael Sartain, the big man, on. That is on Sunday the 4th. Michael Sartain's coming on. It's going to be called like the smoke show for critics and detractors. So I'm going to have him do a simple plot synopsis of what the Men of Action program is. And then I'm going to play the role of like the detractor or the critic, and he is going to answer as a response to all of my critiques and detractions. So, guys, if you're interested in asking him anything, just DM me. I will voice all critiques and all detractions to Michael, and he will respond to them because he is a very articulate man. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great episode. Guys, you could turn on the notification bell and be notified when we go live. But if you don't have it turned on, we're going to be going live at 7 o'clock on Sunday the 4th. Once again, I want to humbly thank our listeners and pay them ample gratitude for their patronage. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to have such a high-quality, interactive show. So thank you, audience.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes.
I'd like to take this time to remind all the listeners we're spreading like a virus. The Good Faith Podcast is now officially on YouTube with video as well as archived audio on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, RSS.com, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, and Patreon. On Patreon, we're working to build additional value for the multiple tiers of donors with special content, Super Chat priority, and VIP in-person meetings. We do value your attention, so thank you for quieting your TikTok brain for the last 2 hours. This is a reminder, if you feel you got any value from our show, it takes basically zero extra work to like and subscribe. It'll move us closer to our goal of having thousands of subscribers, which will bump us up in the algorithm. It'll expose us to more potential listeners. If you guys want to share us with more of your friends, we would be absolutely delighted to extend our outreach. The quickest way for us to broaden our exposure is for you listeners to each share us with one friend. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. If you live in the greater Philadelphia area, you want to guest star on the show, please reach me in an Instagram DM at Christopher Bulick. The Patreon link's in the description. All proceeds will go towards rent, food, electricity, new computer equipment to improve our general show quality, and Clark's medical expenses. My cat is an epileptic, so if he doesn't have phenobarbital 2 times a day, he will seize up and perish, and if that should happen to occur, then his blood will be on your hands. Where's my...
I ain't trying to screw you. You ain't giving me no money. What am I getting out of this? Nothing. So why do I have to lie?
To all of our faithful audience,
So the audience are a bunch of hoes. Yep.
We wish you a wonderful weekend, a happy and healthy lifestyle, and to all of you, we bid you goodbye.
Goodbye. And if you need money, sell rocks. I heard that's what it is.